selfish firm too. What's better than a bank investing your assets for our profits in the safety and security of the stock market?
Shit, don't pass me last second, shit! Oh, piece of shit! Oh, son of a bitch. He even looks for it, too. Damn. He really did get me. Mama, I'm tweaking. Fresh. What do I do about that? You like this song? Is it some Reeboks or some Nikes? And it's really a monster on the back. Sit down here. We should hang out. Vibe out. I don't have any air conditioning. I've never had any air conditioning. Never. Alright. Don't hit the white man. What's the deal? Not particularly. You will hang out down here. This guy's name is On Fentanyl. I am currently on fentanyl. I am currently, whoa, currently, yo, currently, whoa, currently, zo. Yes. Do it, Mama. Don't. Maybe. Ese sonnery box on some Nikes. Ese sonnery box on some Nikes. Sonnery box on some Nikes. God damn it. Go Biff and Buffett. Goddamn ugly ass thing. Fuck. played Binding of Isaac in so long.
my nothing. Me, I don't wanna do nothing. To me, art is nothing. So girl, don't you try. Don't you try. Don't you try to push me around. Don't push me around. You always want me to stop, but I don't wanna. You always want me to stop, well I'm not gonna. You always talk about nothing.
Life Invader tablet. It's time to dock. The future is now. Life Invader, the social networking site, announces its new tablet. It's not technology. It's your life. Live it the way you want. With a device that tells you what to do. It's time to dock. The Life Invader tablet. We've skipped a generation, so you don't have to. Live tomorrow. You will be connected to humanity. You will be docked. Invasion never felt so good. The Life Invader tablet.
Channel X.
Damn it, man. Oh, come on! What? It had to load! What a crock of shit.
through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a ride? It's on the way.
That's a business car! Man, no hope, loser.
I appreciate your ambition. Yeah, I have something. Copy. I got a CI under fire, and I just sent you the location. He doesn't have much time. The LSPD told his gang he's been ratting them out, when really, he's been collecting evidence on the LSPD. His crew don't seem to be interested in the nuances of snitching, though.
might be ready to move on.
A new luxury car is available to win. Stop by and have a try at the Lucky Wheel. Luxury limos are available to members of our VIP club. The valet can whisk you and your friends to any place in town.
Last ride before she's a bride. Get her while she's hot, boy. Taylor, stop it. It's so embarrassing. Just wait till you see the next dare card. Oh god, you are relentless. So, anything? Come back anytime. What's wrong, Lauren? Nothing. I just wish the others were here. Oh, come on. We don't need them. Me and you, all aboard the Hot Mess Express. Can I get a choo-choo? Choo-choo. There we go.
The hell? What the fuck is this? I wonder if anyone's on the GTA LFG. It's been a while since I went there. Give it a peek. Give it a peek at the Jeeks. Give it a GT peek. Jeek Peak Bay. Peak Bay. Jeek Peak Prey. Pre 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 pre. moment. Not at the moment.
Broly, I'm letting you know right now that if you you're gay. Broly, I'm letting you know right now that if you scream, you're gay. This nigga's horny as fuck. Hey, get the hell away from my dad. He's the cop. Sorry, nigga, but I think I'm going to take drinks off the menu. No, you won't. No. Vegeta, I need your cum. Vegeta! More cum! Right now! I'm a prince, the prince of all Saiyans. Why should I give my nut to a Saiyan who's ranked below me? Tell me why!
God.
Fine, just take it, but Kakarot, finish him now! What? Where's he getting all this cum? Your main nigga has arrived. No matter how much cum you absorb from that idiot, it won't be enough to fill me up. Huh. We'll see about that. You'll never really know for sure until I come. Now the cream pie begins. I am now gonna fill you with my cummy fist!
Swag on him.
Hello everyone and welcome to the third episode of Secrets in Dragon Ball Games. In Budokai 3, there's a subtle little Easter egg when using the Final Flash. Once we successfully complete the Dragon Rush sequence, Vegeta's Final Flash will trigger. Now, I need you to pay attention here or you'll miss it. Notice how the water is being lifted by the blast here? It's a little nod to Vegeta's Final Flash against Cell in the anime, since this is the only planet destruction attack that has this effect. For some reason, it appears to be an exclusive HD Collection feature. HD Collection is a 2012 remaster of Budokai 1 and 3 for the PS3 and Xbox 360. I've tried countless times to trigger it on my PS2 version of Budokai 3, but it just doesn't seem to work. Thank you to Brian Kang for pointing this out. Arale is a really interesting character. She's one of those gag characters. A gag character is someone who usually doesn't abide by the rules of the universe in which they are set in. Due to this, she has some ridiculous feats, like knocking the shit out of Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super. Looks like her gag abilities carried over to Tenkaichi 3. When you attack giant characters like Great Apes, Hirudegarn, and Broly, they usually don't react. They have this, I guess we can call it armor protection, which makes them immune to attacks from most of the characters in the game. But Arale, on the other hand, due to her gag character abilities, straight up breaks that armor. I'm honestly impressed the devs took her special abilities into account here.
Okay, planet, give me that stupid energy!
I will never understand how Cell is able to use the Spirit Bomb, all things considered. Spirit Bomb is an attack that only deals damage to evil people, and to my knowledge, Cell isn't exactly a good guy.
Come.
He does this in a couple of the games, Tenkaichi 1, Xenoverse, Budokai 3. Was any explanation for this ever given? Some claim it's because of Goku's cells, which comprise a part of his DNA. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know in the comments.
This is where it ends.
I've been playing this game since 2007 and only found out about this one recently. There's a fight in the special saga of Tenkaichi 3 story mode where Goku and Vegeta fight Janemba. At the very beginning of the fight, you can notice something unique. Aside from the location of the fight, which is literally hell, you will notice Goku and Vegeta have halos above their heads. Keep in mind, this will be the first and last time we see them with halos in Tenkaichi 3. There isn't a single costume or outfit which features them with halos above their heads. Maybe those halos are just exclusive to the story mode? Naturally, I was a little bit confused. So I searched online to see if I could maybe find some more info about it. Some people were saying you needed to keep dying a certain number of times in a row in order to unlock them. Others were saying they only appeared on the Hell stage. But none of those things were true. At this point, I was about to give up. I thought they were exclusive to the story mode and there was no way to unlock them. Until I was scrolling through the comments on my previous video when a random comment caught my eye. Is it really that simple? So I went to the character customizations and equipped the Halo item, selected Goku, and loaded into the game. I honestly didn't expect it to be this simple. I've played this game for nearly 15 years, and only now have I finally figured this out. The Halo equipped item only works for Goku and Vegeta. If you equip it to any other character, it won't be visible. Also, if both Goku and Vegeta are equipped with it while performing the fusion dance, Gogeta will receive it as well.
I am the one who will destroy you!
Android 18's ultimate move in Budokai 3 has a cute little Easter egg. She will usually perform her Axel dance with Android 17. However, there's a small chance of her performing it with a different partner. I used to believe it was tied to which outfit of hers you selected, but seems like it's random. Also, there are two different endings to Axel dance depending on the partner.
Still going?
If you go to Tenkaichi 3's Ultimate Battle Mode, there's a small chance of receiving a little gift from Android 18.
Later.
If Future Gohan is quite a rare character when it comes to appearances in games. He does pop up in, for example, Tenkaichi 3, Raging Blast 2, Xenoverse 2, and Kakarot. And out of those 4 games, only in Kakarot does he have his iconic one-arm look. Well, there is one more, but we'll get to it in a second. In Tenkaichi 3, while playing with Future Gohan, you'll notice how he uses only one of his arms for all of the attacks and super moves. Grab attack, only one arm. Super attack, one arm. Ultimate attack, well, you get the point. It's obvious the devs were referencing his little tragedy from the History of Trunks special, but couldn't actually remove one of his arms due to the rating of the game, which is 12+. Then there's a little game from 2005 called DBZ Sagas, where after beating the game, you unlock a variety of different characters, one of them being Future Gohan without his arm. Gohan! This is the only main DBZ game to feature him with one arm up until the release of Kakarot in 2021. I decided to leave this one for last. This is something I only discovered while trying to unlock Devilman. Before you unlock Devilman's What If battle, there's another What If battle where the Saiyans actually manage to defeat Frieza, but die in the process. The character we'll be focusing on here is Fasha, whom I forgot to mention in my previous video. There is also a reference to Tora. If you watched the previous video, you'll know why I'm mentioning him. Fasha is meant to die during her battle with Zarbon, and Bardock would take her place. Even though the odds are stacked against us, there's a small chance we can actually beat Zarbon with Fasha. It does involve a lot of cheese and ultimate attack spam. If we do manage to defeat Zarbon with Fasha, we will trigger a secret cutscene.
Enough, you sick freak!
Fasha, get out of here. We need you to give birth to the next generation.
I'm a warrior. I'm ready to die with you.
You're one stubborn woman.
There's already someone to carry on. The kid you sent to that backwards planet.
Yeah. Kakarot, you have to live on. This is your father's last request. Let's go, Fasha. Tora is waiting for us in the next world.
Right. I'm with you.
That's all for this one. Just wanted to thank you all for the insane support on my previous videos. I've also been thinking about including the PS3, Xbox 360 era DBZ games alongside the PS2 ones. So let me know what you think about that. Thanks for watching. About include. Oh, let me know what you think about that. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, and welcome to an all-new installment of Secrets in Dragon Ball games.
beam deflections. Arguably one of the coolest, and at the same time, most underutilized mechanics in all of Sparking Zero. The steep cost of spending 2 skill points just to deflect a super attack usually isn't worth it in most situations. Over time, the devs became more aware of this, which led to the move being buffed several times over the past 9 months. Prior to the Shallot update, beam deflections granted you 1 stack of ki, and your charging speed was doubled. The charging buff was also stackable, which was a nice bonus. However, the Shallot update brought us another bonus in the form of shadow changes. By shadow changes, I'm referring to tweaks that weren't mentioned in the official patch notes. On the top of all the buffs I just mentioned, deflecting a beam now literally sends it right back at the attacker. Don't believe me? Just watch. Insane buff, and no one seems to be aware of it. Why is that? You'd expect something like this to be front page news within the community, and yet no one said anything. Well, that's because it appears to be limited to just 2 characters, specifically 1 character and 2 of his forms, Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. Base GT Goku and SSJ4 won't have their beam attacks reflected back, no matter how many times you try. Intrigued, I decided to see if any other characters could have their beam attacks reflected. I immediately went to try Daima Goku, considering he has an almost identical form and is essentially as close to GT Goku as it gets. However, before I could even run the test, I was caught off guard by Daima Goku's new form. I don't think he's supposed to be able to do that. Most likely, it's a glitch introduced in the recent update. I actually wasn't able to run any tests with Daima Goku because, as it turns out, he's the only version of Goku that doesn't have Kamehameha as a super attack. So I went with the next best thing, Goten. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you ask, neither Goten nor Gotenks had their beam attacks bounce back at them. So what exactly happened here with GT Goku? Perhaps the devs were toying around with the idea of adding a bounce back buff to beam deflections and forgot to remove some of the code. It definitely sounds plausible, especially given what happened with Daima Goku's blue form. As much as I'd like beam deflections to be more viable, I don't think this is the right way to go about it.
Check it out! It's a new kind of tablet!
Oh yeah, that is a pretty cool tablet, Trunks. And it's brought to you by Red Magic, our sponsor for today. The Red Magic Astro Gaming Tablet is an all-new, sleek, top-of-the-line, almost pocket-sized gaming machine. Armed with a 9-inch OLED display and a crazy responsive 165Hz refresh rate, the Astro Gaming Tablet delivers ultra-smooth performance for browsing, streaming, and most importantly, gaming. As expected, the specs on this device are top-notch, meaning even the most demanding mobile games won't be a problem. Legends actually looks great on the bigger screen. I even tried the new mobile port of the first Naruto Storm game, and yep, it looks and runs pretty darn well. The tablet is equipped with a customizable RGB fan and an enhanced liquid metal cooling system, delivering a smooth, overheat-free gaming experience. Believe it or not, Astro's massive 8,200 mAh battery, the largest in the tablet this size, can be charged from 0 to 100 in just 71 minutes. And thanks to Game Space, you can choose between options that extend your already long battery life, boost performance, or just play around with dozens of unique customizable settings and plugins. But the big question is, can the Astro Gaming Tablet run console Dragon Ball games? Yes! From the PS2 classics all the way up to the latest Dragon Ball games. Fighters, Xenoverse 2, Kakarot, and I even saw some people running Sparking Zero. The Red Magic Astro is available worldwide in various editions, each designed to match your specific needs. Be sure to check out the Red Magic Astro Gaming Tablet by using my link in the description or the pinned comment. Giants have some unusual scaling. Power scaling. Cellmax is the most recent and powerful giant in the game, at least in terms of lore. Naturally, you'd expect that to be reflected in both the damage he dishes out and the amount of damage he takes. I'm going to use base Vegito for these tests. There's no particular reason why I chose him. You can also do this test with any character. I just felt like playing with Vegito. Anyway, here's how much damage Vegito will do to Cellmax with a single punch. 404. For comparison, regular sized fighters will take anywhere between 470 to 500. Now let's try the same thing on Vegeta. 425. So far so good. Cellmax is stronger than Saiyan Saga Grade 8 Vegeta. Let's go over to Orange Piccolo. 404. That's the same as Cellmax. Piccolo might not be as strong as Cellmax, but I suppose it's not a huge deal that it takes the same amount of damage. Dr. Willow takes around 416, and Slug's giant form takes about 412. Everything seems perfectly fine so far, except maybe Piccolo having the same numbers as Cellmax, but we can overlook that. And now it's time for everything to fall apart. Hirudegarn, the strongest, or second strongest DBZ movie villain, depending on who you ask, takes 425 damage.
That's the same as grade 8 Vegeta. And first form Janemba, who should be weaker than Hirudegarn, not only takes less damage than him, but he also takes less damage than Cell Max. And that's not all. There's also Anilaza, a character stronger than basically every giant except Orange Piccolo and Cell Max. But despite being weaker than those two, he actually takes less damage than both of them. But don't think it stops there, because we still have one more giant left. So where would you place grade 8 baby on the damage scale? Somewhere in the middle, near the top, or all the way at the bottom? How about the very tippity top? And just like Super Janemba and Hirudegarn, depending on who you ask, baby's position is either totally justified or complete nonsense. It's definitely odd, not just with the baby, but with the damage scaling for giants as a whole. Even in BT3, the scaling was a bit off. Not as all over the places in SC, but definitely questionable. Huge shout out to Celeriac for pointing out these inconsistencies and leading me down this rabbit hole. It's time to talk about Xenoverse 1. A game I thought had been forgotten over time, especially since Xenoverse 2 is basically the same game but improved. But no, the game actually has a dedicated player base on Steam. Small, but dedicated nonetheless. Also, I just realized that Xenoverse 1 is more expensive than Xenoverse 2 on Steam. What the hell, Bandai? One of the weirdest things I remember from Xenoverse 1 is that they gave Yamcha and Krillin Kaioken. Yeah, both of them have dedicated presets with Kaioken and even unique voice lines. I don't think it was ever mentioned in Xenoverse's story, but the obvious implication is that they gained it through training with King Kai. Then again, neither Tien nor Chaozu can use it. So yeah, from what I've gathered, Xenoverse 1 might be the only mainline Dragon Ball game where the Z fighters actually mastered Kaioken. Even Xenoverse 2, the direct sequel, didn't have it. But Xenoverse 2 did something really similar. Do you remember that funny line from Nappa in Tenkaichi 3?
Hey, think if I went Super Saiyan, my goatee would grow?
Well, just like Yamcha and Krillin, Nappa also has a unique preset, with the Super Saiyan transformation available. Here's how it looks. Sorry BT3 Nappa, not only do you not grow goatee, but you also lose the toupee. Damn. At least, the Super Dragon Ball Heroes game did you justice. Speaking of games with Super in their title, Super Dragon Ball Z for the PS2. This game is honestly really pretty. The manga-inspired art style is definitely something else. As pretty and fun as the game is, it suffers from a relatively small character roster, at least by Dragon Ball standards. On top of the small roster, the game only has 6 ultimates, which are not only tedious to unlock, but even more tedious to perform. First off, you have to be on the last round, and your opponent's health needs to be below 10%. After satisfying those 2 criteria, you also have to perform a relatively tricky input that many casual to mid-level players won't be able to pull off consistently in training mode, let alone in the heat of the battle. Still, despite those annoying prerequisites, the ultimates do have a very niche use. Damage scaling in this game kicks in around 4 hits, gets pretty tight by 10, and beyond that, your attacks basically do next to no damage. To work around this, players can use their ultimates to finish off enemies who otherwise wouldn't be killable due to the high damage scaling that happens during long combos, like in this clip. Still, since there are only 6 ultimates, not every character gets to enjoy this luxury, which is a bit of a bummer, but I digress. The ultimate I wanted to show you is Majin Vegeta's. His final explosion looks great, nothing out of the ordinary. The interesting part happens right after Vegeta performs the explosion. You know how Vegeta turns to stone? Or Ash after performing the move in the anime? Well, that scene pretty much never gets adapted in games, and Super DBZ is no different. It perfectly recreates the moment, but instead of turning to stone, Vegeta does something else. When Vegeta hits the ground, he briefly falls into a pose that lasts less than a second, and I can't help but feel that the pose is a reference to a certain other explosive moment. If you get knocked down in Super Dragon Ball Z, you lose the game. Well, this doesn't apply to everyone. There's a certain someone who doesn't appreciate getting knocked out. When Goku gets knocked out, he'll pull out a Senzu Bean and recover his health, which honestly surprised me. Super DBZ is a pretty traditional arcade fighter, and as far as I know, self-revives aren't really a thing in games like this. What's even stranger is that only 4 out of the game's 18 characters have it. Goku, Krillin, Of course, Krillin has it. Teen Gohan and Videl. A bit of a random selection. I mean, Krillin and Goku make sense. I don't believe Teen Gohan ever ate a Senzu on screen. Wait, never mind. He did that one time in the Broly movie. And Videl, well, she did eat the Senzu bean Gohan gave her. But she's not someone typically associated with them. It's usually more of a Z Fighter thing. And yet, a lot of them don't even have it in this game. Although it may not be that big of a deal, as Senzu beans are surprisingly balanced in this game. Unlike certain others. When a character eats a Senzu bean, they quickly start draining their super meter, the resource used for super attacks and ultimates. The more meter you have, the more HP you recover. Sounds fine at first, until you realize your character is completely vulnerable during the recovery period. And even though the healing is fast, your opponent can, and probably will, take advantage of that window to punish you.
By the way, I only hit you because I had pent-up aggression against your father. Take that.
In fact, according to GP Bear 4, a prominent figure in the competitive Super DBZ scene, Senzu beans are mostly used for fun, since it's rare to get their full benefit in an actual match. Still, I think they're pretty cool, mainly because self-reviving items are almost never seen in DBZ fighting games, aside from maybe Budokai 3. Big shout out to GP Bear 4 for all the insights into the competitive side of the game. At this point, I'm fairly confident that 90% of you already know how super armor works in the Tenkaichi games. In short, certain tanky or bulky characters have super armor by default, and to break it, you need to land a few consecutive hits. Base Goku takes around 5 hits, Super Saiyan takes 4, SSJ2 takes 3, and once you reach Super Saiyan 3 level of power, which is roughly equivalent to 8 DP, you instantly break through that super armor. Now, here's something you might not have been aware of. You know how I said that you need to land a few consecutive hits in order to break it? Well, that may not be entirely true. In truth, you can actually break super armor with a single punch, and you don't even have to be an SS3. Even Chaozu can do it. In fact, let me use him as an example. Chaozu is able to break super armor on his very last hit, that is, his 5th attack, pretty much the same as any mid to low DP character. Now I'm going to perform the same combo, but this time, the armor will break with a single kick. Apparently, the game disregards whether prior attacks in a combo chain connect when it comes to super armor. The only thing that matters is that the move that breaks super armor connects, and in Chaozu's case, that's the 5th hit. It's basically the same for everyone. Though not all characters break it on the 5th hit of a combo chain, most of the cast will break it on the 3rd or 4th. I always wondered whether this was intentional or not, but it turns out I don't have to wonder anymore. This oversight, or should I say feature, is back and works exactly the same in Sparking Zero. By default, Goku will break Broly's armor on the 4th hit, but if that 4th hit is the first one that actually lands on Broly, you'll just break it instantly. Same as in BT3. This can actually prove to be useful in some niche situations. For example, the other day I was playing against a friend who was using Super Broly. I was using either Yamcha or Krillin, can't remember exactly. Basically, he was trying to go into sparking, and he was convinced he would be able to get it because from his point of view, I was just throwing random punches like 5 feet away from him, and even if 1 or 2 of them managed to land, he knew that he wouldn't get staggered because both Yamcha and Krillin need at least 4 punches to break the armor. Long story short, he didn't go into sparking, and I broke his armor with a single hit. The end. In Tenkaichi 3, you can pick the same character twice on the same team. The only exceptions are clone characters like Cybermen, Frieza Force Soldiers, and Metacoolers, who can be selected up to 5 times, the maximum allowed in the game. Despite that, there seems to be one more group of characters that can bypass this restriction.
I am neither Goku nor Vegeta. I am the one who will destroy you!
Fusions. While the game won't let you select the same fused character twice, it does let you pick both of the characters that make up that fusion. Thanks to that, we should be able to select Goku and Vegeta and create a duplicate fusion. Let's give it a shot.
No choice then.
Yup, we have 2 Vegetos. And if we try to switch to our original Vegeto, it works. No glitches. Nothing. You can do the same with GT characters, which means we can have 2 SS4 Gogetas. I always thought this wasn't an intentional oversight by the devs, and it looks like I might have been right, because if we go
Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill. Isaac kept to himself, drawing pictures and playing with his toys as his mom watched Christian broadcasts on the television. Life was simple, and they were both happy. That was until the day Isaac's mom heard a voice from above. "Your son has become corrupted by sin. He needs to be saved." "I will do my best to save him, my lord." Isaac's mother and his mother rushed alone into Isaac's room, removing all that was evil from his life. Again the voice called to her. "Isaac's soul is still corrupt. He needs to be cut off from all that is evil in this world and confess his sins." "I will follow your instructions, Lord. I have faith in thee," Isaac's mother replied, as she locked Isaac in his room, away from the evils of the world. One last time, Isaac's mom heard the voice of God calling to her. "You've done as I've asked, but I still question your devotion to me. To prove your faith, I will ask one more thing of you." "Yes, Lord, anything," Isaac's mother begged. "To prove your love and devotion, I require a sacrifice. Your son Isaac will be this sacrifice. Go into his room and end his life as an offering to me to prove you love me above all else." "Yes, Lord," she replied, grabbing a butcher's knife from the kitchen. Isaac, watching through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around his room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trapdoor to the basement hidden under his rug. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his mother burst through his door and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
We do not have much time. They will return soon. We need to get the 115 conversion generators operational. They are essential to our survival.
You want to tell us just what your people have been doing?
After we reached the catacombs at the dig site, my men began to get sick. Within a day, they became like living dead.
Silence our enemies.
You're toying with me, aren't you, Samantha?
Get back! Grenade! Far, wretched hands away from me! The weapon is empty! I will not become one of you! Just as Max has predicted. They think I am one of them. The chalk drawings appeared overnight. We have been unable to explain their origins. Provoked! Teleports. Max ammo. Our ammunition shortages are at an end. For the time being, at least. Insta-kill. I will fight to the death! Yours! I was lucky this time. I know what else lies beneath. Look out! They are manifesting in our immediate area! During our excavations, we uncovered this ancient box. We have no idea of its origins.
But what we do know is that somehow it contains weapons we can use to aid our fight for survival. It is not a simple matter. The nearby conversion generator must be activated before the box can be unlocked.
Can you hear me? Please, you have to help me. I'm trapped here. I just want to go home.
Did anyone just hear a little girl?
Her name is Samantha. Either here or... She will not stop.
Manifests itself from the thin air. This defies reason. Your death comes swiftly.
It's like camouflage. They don't see us so well.
I need something quickly. I will take this for the time being, but I will return.
What do you know about the girl? She trapped someone.
Her words drove my friend insane. He became convinced that her voice had a message from the ancients. He claims to be trapped in a mystical realm known as Gotham. Barely move in this mud.
It was you who first drew blood.
I feel stronger already.
Perhaps this weapon was buried by the Germans.
You have to help me. Please. There is a way to open the gateway. My father was so close. He said, you have to follow the steps.
Your twisted games mean nothing to me, Samantha. We have ammo! Thank the heavens!
I'm trying to remember. The staffs of the ancients were lost. Her father made copies. You can find them. You can get me out. You can open the gateway to Agartha. Father said the chambers were doorways, opened by the songs of the ancients. Harness the elements. Only with all can Agartha be reached.
Be careful. This area is where the robot steps. The giant robots may be our greatest scientific achievement, made possible only because of element 115.
Strength, we will crush our enemy!
Don't let them disrupt the conversion process! That's what they call an explosion!
The spirits choose to bless us.
Double points.
Yeah, this will suffice. For the time being. I can hear you, Samantha. I know what you're doing. You'll see how strong I am! You are not the first I have killed. Will not be the last. Their energy is being refocused. It's the other ancient objects. It will soon transform and change the world around us. Oh, we will be rewarded. I do not think they could have survived that. They did. They're in more trouble than we thought. As the generator is fully operational, we can access the ancient device atop the mound. It provides a means to upgrade our weapons. Touch me! You die!
Yes, you found it. For the doorways to open, they need to hear the songs.
As the 115 generators came on, the appearance of this object shimmered and shifted, as though dropping in and out of reality itself. not allow the generator to be overrun. Don't stop until the process is complete. Do not become one of you. Only when the others are similarly charged will it reveal its secrets. Knife through butter! Must be punished! Quickly and painfully! To do! Now you see how strong I am! This mud is slowing me down. Another attack from the armored undead is imminent. How far? Wretched, hands away from me!
For now, the spirits choose to bless us.
The first I have killed will not be the last. The machine functions just as Max has predicted. Fire is my favorite way to dispose of unwanted specimens.
It's one of the songs. It has to be.
Is that Sweet Mama? Oh, okay. Hi, Sweet Mama. How you doing? How's sleeping?
What?
Yeah.
It is a little heavier than I would like, but it should prove effective.
Nein! I will not submit!
I thought my life was ending.
Touch me! You die! Do not stop until the process is complete. Do not succumb to your sickness! Fire will consume you completely. We will be rewarded.
Or dealt. Said you want some pork chop? Or not pork chop. Are you there, Mom? Like, Gumby.
Wonderful machine. Ancient mysticism harnessed by our technology. It offers further means to aid our survival. Run like the wind. Even outright. A refreshing change. Samantha. Feeling generous, are we?
What about a coat? Did you eat pork chop that was upstairs? I was thinking of it and such, but
Now, find the box! Quickly! One of the 115 generators is under attack. Let me go! An explosion of such magnitude should surely have injured us too. Fight to the death! Yours! Die quickly and painfully! A knife through butter! Mud is slowing me down. Another mysterious potion. What purpose is this one?
I need ammo urgently!
He said that, I'm not getting no fucking jug. It's for pussies.
Insta-kill. Fire sale. Carpenter. Carpenter. Fire sale.
Jug. That's so funny.
Fire sale.
They were cheating.
Insta kill.
I cannot keep firing for much longer! Die for the glory of the Emperor! Are you watching me, Samantha? Are you?
Max
At least it was over quickly.
We got just enough
Well,
to gamble. Let's go.
after those final moments of utter agony.
I am not buying Jug. No way in hell at this point.
The robot's route comes right through this area.
Bro,
Touch me! You're dying!
Duty left the game because I wouldn't buy Jug. What a piece. Oh shit.
We must be ready to defend ourselves.
There he is. At least getting quicker.
Perhaps this will offer me something of a second chance.
Oh shit. Man, he died fast. That Jug?
Your assistance is most appreciated.
It's electric cherry.
Nine! Stay back! I'm warning you!
I sure electric cherried him. Ba, 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 ba. sec. Fuck. Yo, shit. Sucks.
Hello there, and welcome to the first official episode of Secrets in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I was originally testing whether the whole Bobbity Spopovich mechanic was present in Sparking Zero. For those who don't know, in Tenkaichi 3, there was a unique mechanic where both Bobbity's grab and Spopovich's ultimate gathered energy to power up Bobbity's own ultimate. And I'm sad to say that this mechanic no longer exists in Sparking Zero. It's most likely because Bobbity's original ultimate, the move that enabled this entire mechanic, was replaced by his electroshock therapy ult. So yeah, now that we got that out of the way, let me show you something I managed to discover while I was testing the whole Bobbity thing. I was randomly flying around the map, you know, messing around with Bobbity, when suddenly, I hit a wall. Well, a rock formation to be specific. I didn't think much of it at first because why should I? It's just a big indestructible formation of rocks. I mean, what's there to think about? But then it happened again. And at this point, I was a bit confused. I was confused because I was able to dash through this exact same rock formation not 20 minutes ago while playing online. I thought Bobbity was maybe glitched or something, so I switched to Spopovich. But to my surprise, it happened again. I then switched to Deborah and tried the same thing, and finally, the formation broke. To celebrate, I did a grab on Gohan, and let's just say I really wasn't expecting them to give such a badass grab to Deborah. Remember in the previous games how there was a power progression mechanic? Like with each transformation, it would take less and less attacks to break characters with super armor. Well, I believe we've discovered an instance of a brand new power progression mechanic. What do Bobbity and Spopovich have in common? Beside the M symbol, of course. They're both relatively weak, right? What if power was a determining factor in whether you could dash through giant rock formations? Based on the previous examples we've seen, the theory does seem plausible. To ensure that this wasn't just a coincidence and to validate the theory, I decided to do some testing. First up, Cybermen. Cybermen are a group of green humanoid creatures cultivated by the Saiyans. Their power level averages between 1,200 and 1,500, making them a perfect fit for this test. I picked up a Cyberman, did a Dragon Dash, and nothing. To be honest, I was actually hoping that would happen since it confirms the theory. Next, I tested Frieza's Soldier, Videl, Mr. Satan, Pan, Roshi, and Kid Goku. They all failed to break the rock. Theory proven true. Right? Nope. If only it were that simple. I wanted to see the cutoff point. Like, at what level of power do these characters gain the ability to dash through large obstacles? The goal was to go from the canonically weakest characters to the strongest. I began with Raditz since he has a power level comparable to a Cyberman. However, unlike the Cyberman, Raditz, he broke the formation. Alright, I suppose this settles it. You need to be at least Raditz level to break these rocks, right? Well, yes and no. You definitely need to be stronger than him, but it's also possible to be stronger and still not be able to break it. This is where the inconsistencies in the theory arise. Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, and Kid Gohan are all characters with power levels above Raditz, yet they still can't break the rocks. And by far, the worst defender would have to be base Teen Gohan. You know, you could maybe argue that the developers based the first group on their early Z versions and their respective power levels when implementing this mechanic. Prior to the arrival of the Saiyans, all the Z fighters were definitely weaker than Raditz. But Teen Gohan? This one just baffles me. I mean, sure, he breaks it the moment he goes Super Saiyan, but what about base? He's so above Raditz in terms of power, it's not even funny. Great Saiyaman is unable to break it as well, but that makes sense. Great Saiyaman Gohan is in a constant state of power suppression since he fights criminals, aka regular people. If we assume that the Z fighters are based on their early Saiyan Saga counterparts, which is a bit of a stretch, but let's just go with it. Then the theory that dashing through giant rock formations being linked to power level would make perfect sense. Everything would fit nicely, no? Unfortunately, base Teen Gohan kind of complicates things. And speaking of whom, I was playing a ranked DP match with Goku, Mid, Trunks, Melee, and Teen Gohan. A solid overall team with a total DP cost of 14 points. Now, remember how in previous games you would unleash an explosive burst of energy whenever you entered max power mode? Well, I was attempting to dash my key to the explosive burst of cost of 14 14-point melee in Teen Gohan, a solid overall team with a total DP cost of 14 points. Now, remember how in previous games you would unleash an explosive burst of energy whenever you entered max power mode? Well, the same thing is supposed to happen in Sparking Zero, except it didn't. I was attempting to charge my ki to the max, and as soon as my opponent noticed, he quickly used a Z-burst dash to try and stop me. Now, I knew what he was trying to do, but I didn't need to react because my ki was almost fully charged. The moment he dashed toward me, I would enter max power, and the energy burst would knock him back. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. So, why didn't he get staggered? Well, my initial thought was that I didn't time it right, but I definitely did. Honestly, given the amount of time I've spent playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3, I had a strong suspicion about what was causing the issue, and I was about to be proven right. You see, in Tenkaichi 3, some of the weaker characters can't stagger their opponents with the energy burst released when entering max power. This mostly applies to OG Dragon Ball characters, as well as some of the weaker characters from the Z portion of the story. With that in mind, along with the rock formation test I had done a few hours earlier, the dots in my head started connecting. I selected base Teen Gohan and started to power up to the max, and as expected, my opponent didn't flinch. I did the same thing with Raditz, and you guessed it, Broly was staggered. After conducting a few more tests, I concluded that all the characters that couldn't break those rock formations earlier also failed to stagger their opponents with the max power energy burst. I suppose this confirms the existence of a power level mechanic of sorts. So yeah, for those of you who actively use or plan to use these characters in online, keep all of this in mind. Revenge Counter is a brand new mechanic serving as a sort of get out of jail free card. If your opponent is comboing you and you can't time your other counters right, by double tapping the L1 button, you will tank your opponent's attack and counter with an attack of your own. Simple, right? Well, you're not off the hook just yet. If your opponent has good reflexes, they can use their super perception to catch your counter and hit you with their own. Yeah, a whole lot of countering going on. The thing we want to focus here is the brief cinematic that triggers whenever you counter an opponent's revenge counter using perception. In 90% of the cases, the cinematic will look like this. You intercept your opponent's attack, deliver a cool line, and then smack him in the face. However, not all characters use this animation. There are quite a few fun little unique additions. Whis and Beerus will use a mere finger to stop your attack because they're just that strong. Goldo and Chaozu utilize their telekinesis to freeze you in place. Oh, and Babidi too, but he uses magic rather than telekinesis. Fat Boo and Ribrian share the same animation, most likely because they're a bit on the larger side. Kid Buu has a strange one. For some reason, he bends all the way backward. Mr. Satan can't even perform it because he's too powerful for that. Unfortunately, Giants cannot engage in these counter clashes. Future Gohan does the same thing as everyone, except he only uses a single arm. And the title of the most unique perception counter goes to Kale. Yeah, she just kind of yells at you to go away, but I can't deny that it's one of the most unique perception counters in the game. Super Buu looks really good in this game, especially Buuhan. Unlike BT3, I found him far more enjoyable to play here. In fact, he was one of the first characters I experimented with, and during that experimentation, I stumbled upon a surprising little Easter egg. After firing off his Super Kamehameha, Buu does something quite interesting. Yup, he did the thing. If you successfully land a hit on the opponent, Buu will flip them off. This works against any character, not just Vegito. My only gripe is the censoring of his middle finger, but I guess that may be a bit too much for a game like this. In any case, I'm more than glad they decided to include it. Jump attacks are cool. I love jumping around the map and smacking my opponents with them. They weren't particularly useful or anything. I mean, they can stagger the opponent and open up combos, but they were fairly easy to block and punish. I'll be honest, I've played about maybe 40 to 50 matches before I actually got around to making this video, and in those 50 matches, no one, and I do mean no one, was using them. Do people not even know they exist, or they just prefer to not use them because they suck? I don't know. So there I was, running around performing jumping attacks when suddenly A vanish? I jumped again, and sure enough, I did another vanish. This was mind-blowing to me. In Tenkaichi 3, the perfect timing mechanic didn't work on those jumping attacks. And get this, even if you mess up the timing, you can still break their guard. Again, something you couldn't do in previous games. Honestly, the jumping attack mechanic appears to be much more useful. So much so that I can see it having some use in online matches. The distance you can cover with it is so insane that you may be able to catch your opponents off guard. I haven't had the proper chance to test it in actual matches, but there's definitely some potential there. We've known about unique throws for a good while now. Prior to the game's release, we had only seen two: SSJ3 Goku's throw against Fat Boo and Ultimate Gohan's grab on Super Boo. Since the game is still new, there may be more to discover later on. But so far, this is what I got. If you select Z Broly and attempt to do a grab on Super Saiyan Goku mid, this happens. I'm sure most of you caught the reference. It's a nod to the moment when Broly tanked Goku's Kamehameha and then grabbed him by the hair. They didn't quite get Goku's facial expression right, as he's laughing here, but his face doesn't reflect that. Now that I think about it, his expression in the movie was a bit off too. It looked like he was under influence. This one's just disrespectful. Honestly, I didn't expect this scene to be adapted as a throw, but it works surprisingly well. God of Destruction Toppo's grab on Frieza is straight up brutal.
Trash deserves to be tossed, correct?
Once again, a beautiful adaptation. And the final one I've got is Goku mid versus Frieza. Yeah, the reference is pretty easy to spot. Oh, all of these unique grabs deal more damage than their regular counterparts. Not by a lot, but funnily enough, this one also works against Frieza. Base Broly from Super has a pretty cool ultimate, but everything is a bit iffy. I mean, I don't understand why it's not connected. Goku is literally just standing there. Anyway, once the internet needs to connect, it's something like this. Looks cool, right? Well, what if I told you there's an ultimate version of it that triggers under specific conditions? Just make sure your opponent is positioned close to the wall when the ultimate connects. If it's done correctly, this will happen. Yeah, just like with the grabs, this game also has all sorts of conditions. As of now, I would assume there's more, considering the number of unique grabs we currently have. I suppose I will tell. When you board the solar flare, your opponent becomes blinded for a few seconds, obviously. However, characters who use glasses / shades are immune to the blinding effect of the solar flare. What's the matter with you? Nothing. No reaction whatsoever. Now, Master Roshi is unique. Hitting with their ultimate move, his outfitted body will be damaged severely, and in the process, his blasts get destroyed as well. Meaning, if we hit him with a solar flare, he should be blinded, right?
Solar flare!
Yup, the game will take into account that his glasses got destroyed during battle and make him vulnerable to solar flare. This is how solar flare worked in Tenkaichi 3, and many people love this little attention to detail. So, did Sparking Zero do it justice?
Solar flare!
Looking good so far, Roshi remains unfazed. Let's see what happens after we beat him up. Alright, his shades are gone. Let's see if solar flare works.
Over here? Maybe?
This game truly is a worthy sequel. As everyone playing this game knows, you can hold the key button to fire bigger, stronger key blasts. Most of the time, they function similarly, but a few of them have unique effects. For example, Krillin's Destructo Disc, Sword users with their unblockable slash-type key blasts, Bobity's paralyzing blasts, and so on. The focus in this video will not be on the many versions and effects of those blasts, but rather on the unique animations they use that reference the source material. For instance, Rose Goku Black creates his signature energy sight, which he uses to unleash an unblockable slash-type key blast. It's a clever and creative way to give him a unique charged key blast, and the reference is pretty obvious. However, here's one that's not so obvious, or at least I can figure it out. So there are a lot of Gokus in this game.
You
been using the Dragon Balls for something sneaky. Hey, I bet you're just oolong or poir playing a trick on me, aren't ya?
I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
But only one specific form has a unique charged ki blast animation. Super Saiyan 3. Goku stretches out his left arm and braces it with his right for support. Once fully charged, he fires a fast, precise ki bullet. As I mentioned, this is unique to SSJ3 Goku. No other form can use it. So it's clearly a reference to something. I went through every single SSJ3 Goku moment in the show. His battles with both Boos, Janemba, Hirudegarn, Beerus, Trunks, Toppo, pretty much everything I could think of. And none of them featured Goku in this pose. Yeah, if anyone could shed some light, I would greatly appreciate it. This is by far the most insane and probably the most lore-accurate implementation of a move I've seen so far in this game. In Sparking Zero, Master Roshi has the Mafuba, or the Evil Containment Wave, as his ultimate, a sealing technique invented by Master Mutato to trap or contain demons. The move requires huge stamina reserves and endurance to perform. If the user does not have enough life force, they will die soon after performing it, in theory at least. In the manga, Roshi explains that the more powerful the opponent, the more energy is required for the seal to work. I want you to keep that statement from Roshi in mind. Although it was originally designed to contain demons, it seemed to be effective against anyone. So let's do a little test in Sparking Zero. I was originally testing whether demon-type characters took more damage from the Mafuba, but unfortunately they don't. However, I did manage to find something even better. I was testing the effects of Mafuba on all forms of Zamasu, and when I finally reached Merged Zamasu, Merged Zamasu took more damage than both Dabura and Cooler. And not only that, Roshi was missing an entire health bar, indicating that the Mafuba took a greater toll on him this time compared to the previous two tests. You see why I told you to remember that statement from Roshi? For example, if you use the Mafuba on Mr. Satan, Roshi will take significantly less damage, but will also deal less damage. However, if you use it on some of the strongest characters in the game, like Jiren, you'll deal over 20k damage, but Roshi will take a lot more damage to his HP as well. Yeah, big fan of this mechanic. It reminds me a bit of the whole Devilman gimmick from BT3. Oh, and Roshi also gets a unique victory cutscene if you manage to finish off your opponent with the Mafuba.
Yeah, I pulled it off!
Mystic Breath is a utility move mostly used by evil demon-type characters. You got Dabura, Evil Boo, Janemba, and Oob. Oob's not evil, but he probably inherited it from Boo. The primary use of Mystic Breath is the negation of super attacks. It can be extremely useful to negate those pesky super attacks with annoying tracking. Again, this is how it worked in Tenkaichi 3. So how does Sparking Zero handle it? Well, it's nearly identical actually. The same characters that had it in the previous games also have it in Sparking Zero. If timed correctly, you can basically negate any beam type attack, same with rush attacks. And I know how much you guys hate those. Just beware of Destructo Disc-like moves because they just shred through Mystic Breath. I believe that Mystic Breath isn't as effective as it was in 3 because super attacks move much faster in this game, requiring you to time those Mystic Breaths very carefully to successfully pull off a negation. I also like that Dabura's Mystic Breath still consists of him spitting literal hellfire. This may not be new to BT3 veterans, but considering the number of records this game's breaking, I know there are many new players coming in. Charging underwater is never a smart move to make. Your key charging speed would decrease by about 50%. The whole idea behind this mechanic is based on the assumption that being underwater disrupts key control. In Tenkaichi 3, androids kind of saw use in this because they were unaffected by being underwater. But in Sparking Zero, no one is safe. Androids, Cooler, and all mechanical type fighters have a reduced recharge rate when in water. Never charge underwater in Sparking Zero. Unless you're this little guy. Staying true to BT3, Sparking Zero still lets Cybermen charge their ki underwater relatively unaffected. I say relatively because they were nerfed for some reason. Cybermen charged about 10% slower underwater compared to BT3. No idea why they changed that. It's not like it makes them broken or anything. So yeah, if you ever see a Cybermen player charging underwater, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. That's all for this one. If you guys wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you could slide me a quick follow on Twitter/X. I'll occasionally be sharing stuff relating to videos and Dragon Ball games in general, but more importantly, it'll help me reach out to YouTube support team if something would ever happen to the channel. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Taking both you and your barrier with it. Can't break any which made Gamma's 1 and 2 instant staples in both singles and DP battles as soon as they were released. Of course, it's not just because of their barrier moves. Their auto ki regeneration also plays a big role, but the point still stands. That got me thinking, surely they can't repel every single attack in the game. There has to be a breaking point, right? And that's when the tests began. I paired up all barrier users against some of the strongest attacks in the game, and here are the results. Special Beam Cannon? Nothing. Final Kamehameha? Nothing. Not a single beam attack can penetrate the barrier. However, not every attack in the game is a beam type attack. What happens if we pit these barriers against other bigger barriers? How will they hold up? Okay, so they can tank it, but only for a short while. If the opponent's explosive wave lingers too long, it'll eventually break through, taking both you and your barrier with it. However, there's a way for these smaller barriers to not only cancel out the bigger ones, but even punish your opponent in the process. Let's say a Majin Vegeta player wants to finish you off with their unblockable final explosion. The move leaves him at 1 HP, but the Vegeta player isn't worried, because if they play their cards right, you'd go down first. Or will you? What if we activate our barrier at a much closer range instead of from a distance? Not only will you cancel out the attack, but you'll also deal enough damage to finish off opponents whose explosive moves leave them at 1 HP. Quite a versatile utility, to say the least. Basically, the only attacks that can break through the barrier are other, bigger explosive moves. And even then, if you're close enough, you can cancel them out entirely, even getting a free win on characters like Gamma 2, Majin Vegeta, Super Buu, etc. Outside of explosive moves, the only other attack that can overpower your barrier is Tien's Neo Tri-Beam. Yup, he's just him. In all seriousness, he doesn't technically overpower it. Like super explosive wave moves, he simply stalls it out with his relentless barrage of Tri-Beams. If I asked you how many unique windscreen Sparking Zero has, what would you say? I assume 99% of you would say 3. Roshi with the Mafuba, Super Saiyan 3 Goku proudly looking at the sky after defeating Hirudegarn, and the iconic, depressed look Goku gives to what's left of Frieza. Well, what if I told you there's more? At least one more that we know of. So I was casually playing as GT Goku against Mr. Satan and figured that finishing him off with a Spirit Bomb felt appropriate. After finishing him off, enough, a random achievement popped up on my screen. A flair for fighting. I quickly minimized my game to check the description. Viewed 20 special finishers. This game has 20 special finishers? I thought we only had 3. Technically, we do only have 3. The achievement isn't saying there are 20 unique finishers. It just means you have to perform either of the 3 20 times to unlock it. Curious? I checked Whiz's stamp book for all the special finishers, and sure enough, the game only lists the 3 that everyone knows about. But then why did GT Goku's Spirit Bomb finisher trigger my achievement progress if the only characters with special finishers are Roshi, Mid Goku, and Super Saiyan 3? Unless this win screen isn't the only one GT Goku has. So I tried finishing off Mr. Saiyan without the Spirit Bomb, and sure enough, the win screen was different. Wait. He has 2 windscreens? How has no one ever mentioned this before? I mean, the other 3 are way more polished, and their references are easy to recognize. But GT Goku's windscreen? It's kind of confusing. Honestly, I'm not even sure what moment it's referencing. It's definitely not from the scene where he kills Omega Shenron, since Goku was knocked out cold at the moment. The only scenes that vaguely resemble it are the final bout opening scene, or maybe the pose he struck while fighting Baby Goten and Gohan. I'm honestly stumped. Could it be that this special windscreen wasn't fully implemented? We know it counts as a special finisher because it progresses the achievement, yet it's nowhere to be found in Whiz's stamp book. GT content in general seems to have some interesting cut material. For example, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has a unique transformation sequence, implying we were supposed to get base GT Vegeta. And let's not forget Super 17. Could it be that GT Goku's windscreen was meant to be something bigger but got scrapped, leaving us with what we have in the final version? A pretty interesting topic to discuss. Gohan is a character known for getting overly confident and cocky whenever he faces someone he knows he's stronger than. Think of Gohan versus Cell, or better yet, Gohan versus Super Buu. The devs of Sparking Zero really embraced Ultimate Gohan's cocky side, and it shines through in a lot of his interactions.
You don't stand a chance against the Trio of Dangers pack leader.
Bring your whole family for all I care. I'll defeat each and every one of you.
Knowing what I know about Ultimate Gohan and how they characterized him in Sparking Zero, I was really curious to see how they'd handle his beast form. The form didn't have much screen time in the movie, so the devs essentially had free reign to interpret his personality. And man, they did not hold back.
What is this otherworldly strength? Were Saiyans always capable of such unbelievable power?
Well, I never imagined I'd get the pleasure of wiping the floor with you again.
But it's not just his interactions. The cockiness is spread throughout his entire kit. Take his Grand Slash, for example. Normally, characters perform an actual slash motion with their hands or feet. Gohan, though, he just stomps you. As far as I can tell, he's the only character who does this as part of his Grand Slash combo. And honestly, it fits his character perfectly. Then there's his Rolling Hammer. Every time you use it, he keeps repeating, "Hey, you okay?" while casually spinning you from one side to another.
Stay focused.
Gamma 1 and 2, they may not share blood ties because they're, machines. But they're as close to being siblings as 2 fully robotic androids can be. While they look and fight the same, the differences become apparent once we take a look at their personalities. Gamma 2 is a kind of goofy, overly confident superhero, whereas Gamma 1 is one of those strong silent types. Their personalities really shine in this game, with a plethora of unique interactions they have with the rest of the cast.
The champion of justice!
The champion of justice!
Fighting together!
Did they just forget about me or something?
However, one of my favorite showcases of their differences in personality, and one of the most subtle, happens when either of the Gammas loses focus on the target. Gamma 1 remains calm and collected, carefully scanning its surroundings in an attempt to locate the enemy. Gamma 2, on the other hand, also stays calm, perhaps a little too calm.
Man, my outfit's gonna get messed up looking for you.
Yeah, he really doesn't take anything that seriously. Additionally, it seems that this searching animation is unique to Gamma 2, which is pretty neat. Also, both the Gammas share the same moveset, but inverted. For example, Gamma 1 has the flying kicks as the first move in his combo string, whereas Gamma 2 has it at the very end of the combo string. And whereas Gamma 2 has the blaster wave as the first move in his combo string, Gamma 1 has it at the very end. Same with the heavy finish and the rolling hammer. Given how focused on lore accuracy Sparking Zero is, I was curious about the reasoning behind why certain characters gain super armor in Sparking while others do not. While making my DP meta breakdown video back in late October, I pointed out 3 characters who gained super armor in Sparking mode, and only one of them had a solid reason for having it, and that was Recoome.
You do well.
As a literal tank of a character, it makes perfect sense for him to have super armor, considering how he was portrayed in his fights against Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin. The other 2 were Bardock and Yajirobe. Some people in the comments mentioned that Bardock was charging through hundreds of Frieza soldiers like a literal tank. Hence why he has hit stun immunity in Sparking, aka super armor. I guess that kind of makes sense? But what about Yajirobe? I mean, sure, he's a bit on the larger side, but certainly not a tank character. Granted, he did survive Vegeta's fisting session, but does that really warrant super armor? I'm not sure. In any case, I was curious to see just how deep this super armor rabbit hole goes. That's why I went through the tedious process of testing it with every single character in every single form. As expected, every single big or bulky character gains super armor in Sparking, even if they didn't have it in their base state. This includes all forms of Super Broly, Super Saiyan, and legendary Super Saiyan Z Broly.
Full Power Roshi, Bojack, Orange Piccolo, Mr. Omega, Super Android 13, Garlic Jr., Jiren, Toppo, Corrupt Zamasu, Dodoria, Transform Zarbon, Fat Boo, Super Vegeta and Trunks, Nappa, Berserk Kale.
Full Power Frieza, and, as previously mentioned, Recoome. This second category includes characters whose inclusion is slightly more questionable. King Cold, Second Form Cell, and funnily enough, Second Form Frieza. Second Form Cell was portrayed as a tank before getting absolutely wrecked by Vegeta and later Trunks. Second Form Frieza is in a similar position, so I guess he gets a pass. King Cold is a bit of an odd case, considering he was one shot by Trunks. Considering they gave Second Form Frieza a pass, and King Cold is using the same form, I suppose we can justify it even though he was annihilated by a single blast. And now, normal-sized characters that, depending on your opinion, should or shouldn't have super armor. Bardock, already mentioned, Gamma 1 and 2. I mean, they're strong, but are they really super armor worthy? Debatable. Daima Goku. Yeah, not sure what he's doing here. SSJ4 Gogeta. Some people aren't going to like this, but he doesn't have super armor, while Blue Gogeta, Vegeta Blue, and even Z Gogeta do. Bergamo. Yep, he has it. Could be a reference to his giant form. Majin Vegeta. Given how much of a beating he endured against Boo, I'd say his inclusion is valid. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He has it too, though I feel like Vegeta's inclusion is much more justified. And finally, Beast Gohan. No complaints here, he's a literal beast of a character. However, I do have one small issue. Not with him specifically, but with his other 3 forms. The Superhero DLC gave us 4 versions of Gohan: Base, Super Saiyan, Ultimate, and Beast. You'd think Beast would be the only form with super armor, but no, Ultimate has it too. Alright, that's passable, I guess. Ultimate Gohan is pretty strong, but what about Super Saiyan? Oh, he has it too, and that's not all. Even his scrawny base form from the superhero movie has it. What the I can understand Ultimate Gohan having it, but Super Saiyan and especially base form? Yeah, that has to be an oversight. Considering how generous they were with handing out super armor, I'm honestly surprised they didn't give it to future Gohan, a character who spent years and years surviving brutal attacks in the future timeline. In conclusion, I do believe most of these choices are lore related, especially for the bulky characters. Some like Blue Gogeta and Vegito having super armor while SSJ4 Gogeta doesn't are probably due to balancing reasons. After all, SSJ4 Gogeta has some of the strongest and fastest combos in the game. And then there are the completely random ones like Superhero Gohan, Bergamo, King Cold, etc. I don't know, do let me know what you guys think. Do you guys remember the first episode where I covered Super Saiyan 3 Goku's unique charged Ki Blast? I mentioned back then that I wasn't sure what specific moment it was referencing. A lot of you pointed out in the comments that it's actually a direct reference to his fight with Kid Buu in the manga. In fact, someone even made an entire TikTok showcasing the exact panel. Thank you for that, by the way. Now, I had a feeling it was inspired by that moment. But here's the thing. I was using the anime as my reference. In the anime, Goku fires multiple ki blasts from both hands, while in the manga, he braces one arm and fires with the other.
Just for now. Just for her to take a breath. it bright. In the darkness we will remember the sun and moon always shine, whether we see it or not. Darkness we will remember. The sun and moon always shine, whether we see it or not.
which is exactly how it's depicted in Sparking Zero. And here's where it gets really interesting. I made that video roughly 10 days after the game's release on October. Back then, this is how the move looked. Fast forward 3.5 months and I'm doing tests for that super armor section. You might have noticed I was using SSJ3 Goku for most of the tests. There wasn't any special reason for that, I just enjoy playing as him. But while running the tests, I got bored and started messing around, firing off some ki blasts. And guess what? Goku still fires his charged blast by bracing his left hand, just like before. But something was different. His pose, his entire animation had been updated. Check out this side-by-side comparison. See the difference? It's subtle but noticeable. They tweaked his pose to make it more accurate to the manga. Now here's the crazy part. I have no idea when this change happened. It was never mentioned in any of the patch notes. It could have been as early as the December patch or as recent as the DLC 1 update. I honestly don't know. I just noticed it now. Don't get me wrong. I really appreciate that they went out of their way to adjust something this minor just to stay true to the source material. But it makes me wonder, why? It doesn't affect gameplay at all. No one was complaining about it. Or maybe, what if someone from Bandai actually saw that video? Now, I'm not saying I'm the reason they made the change, but hear me out. Besides pointing out SSJ3 Goku's Ki Blast animation, I also mentioned the inaccuracy of Goku's original expression compared to the movie. And wouldn't you know it? In the very first major patch, they fixed Goku's expression. I'm guessing they adjusted SSJ3 Goku's pose around the same time. Again, this is just speculation, since it was never listed in the patch notes. Considering how many views that first episode got, I wouldn't be surprised if someone from Bandai stumbled across it. And if that's the case, if someone from Bandai happens to watch this video, I'd like to quickly point out a particularly pesky bug that's been around since launch and really needs to be addressed. Have you ever had your combo drop for no apparent reason during online matches? I know I have. And no, it's not because of the connection. It's actually your opponent. Whenever you catch them in a combo, they can spam Vanishing Assault. It doesn't work every time, but after a few tries, the spamming pays off. Your combo drops, and they get away scot-free. This is an issue that persisted ever since launch, and I'm honestly surprised it still hasn't been addressed. On the off chance someone from Bandai stumbles upon this video, please forward this to the dev team so they can finally address the bug and improve the online experience. That's gonna be it for this one. A massive shout out to Kyle Abear, Gohan's actual voice actor from the dub. You can catch him doing live streams here on YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also find me there while you're at it, you know?
Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill.